In Smallville, Kansas, a young Clark Kent awakens the power of flight and strength to save a woman and her baby from a car accident. Years later, in Metropolis, Clark and his roommate Jimmy Olsen, a photography student and alien conspiracy theorist, start their first day as interns for the Daily Planet. Assigned to senior intern Lois Lane, she deceives them into helping her investigate a military-grade technology theft. With a lead, the trio finds the thieves loading military robots at the docks. The thieves' leader, Leslie Willis, unleashes a robot to attack them. Clark gets out of view and returns in disguise to destroy it. As Willis activates the remaining robots to battle Clark, Lois successfully deactivates them while he awakens his super speed to destroy the final robot. Despite their efforts, Editor-in-Chief, EIC, Perry White refuses to publish the story based on Jimmy's blurry photos without real proof of the new metahuman that Lois dubbed. While Lois follows up on the robot theft for a lead to Superman, Clark returns to Smallville to investigate his past and understand his new powers. Digging up the space pod that delivered him to Earth, Clark activates an alien hologram and sees visions of an alien planet amid a space war being destroyed. After Clark gains new alien clothing from this, his mother Martha Kent adds a belt and shorts to complete the look. Meanwhile, Willis is hunted by the organization she stole the robot technology from, Task Force X, and arranges a meeting with leading agent Slade Wilson. Willis reveals her electrical supersuit to fight Wilson until Superman arrives to subdue her. Wilson damages her suit's power crystal, leading Superman to destroy it after it gives him another vision of the space war. Though Jimmy's photos convince Perry to publish the story, he gives the byline to other staff. Later, Wilson tortures Willis at a black site for information about Lois attempts to interview Superman. Clark struggles to figure out how to help her while protecting his secret identity. However, they must also contend with the Daily Planet's established Scoop Troop reporters, who Perry credited for their Superman story, Steve Lombard, Cat Grant, and Ronnie Troop. Meanwhile, Mist and his friend Roughhouse use technology they obtained from Willis to break his sister out of prison and equip her with sonic tech to rebuild their small-time crew, Intergang. When Intergang attempts to rob the Metropolitan City Bank, their ice cannons malfunction and begins to freeze everything in proximity. Seeing Lois and Jimmy in danger, Superman awakens his heat vision and defeats them, granting him a vision of an invading robot army. Later, Superman accepts Lois's interview and says he is still figuring himself out but is committed to saving people. However, Lois later tells Clark that she suspects Superman is lying. Perry assigns the interns to cover the Amazotech Gala held by CEO Anthony Ivo. Lois is snubbed by attendees for her invasive questions while Clark stumbles upon an argument between Ivo and his chairman, Curtis, regarding the board of directors voting out Ivo. Ejected by Ivo's security, Lois sneaks Clark back inside. An angered Ivo demonstrates the Parasite 1.0 armor and attempts to kill Curtis. Clark becomes Superman to save Curtis. Realizing the armor absorbs energy from his attacks, Superman stops fighting Ivo as Lois and Jimmy deactivates the panic room. With the suit depowered, Superman removes it from Ivo, who became deformed. With Ivo under EMT care, the interns return to find the secret room empty. Lois kisses Clark, considering the night a date. Later, after submitting her exposé on Ivo, Lois finds a torn article involving Kansas miracle sightings in Clark's coat. Lois concludes Clark is Superman after piecing together all the evidence. To confess his burgeoning feelings for Lois, Clark asks for her help in developing a story. However, she sees it as an opportunity to expose him as Superman. Using an old dispatch scanner, she chases down Superman as he foils various crimes before eventually meeting him after he defeats Heatwave. While Superman is distracted, Heatwave escapes. After he drops off Lois at the Daily Planet to keep her safe, he reconfronts Heatwave and discovers the culprit behind the abducted criminals is an armored Wilson. Their fight soon endangers people, leading to Wilson's superiors, the General and Amanda Waller, ordering him to withdraw so Superman can save them. After returning to Lois, she forces Clark to reveal his secret identity to her and is left distraught. Meanwhile, Jimmy is disappointed to learn Clark and Lois failed to attend a pre-planned camping trip to investigate Bigfoot sightings with him. He goes alone, but a large gorilla takes him. After failing to locate Jimmy, Clark reaches out to Lois for help. Despite still being mad at him, she agrees. Scouring the woods, the pair find an abandoned military installation called Area 52. Meanwhile, inside Area 52, Jimmy meets and befriends the gorilla Mala and his partner, the Brain. The pair reveal they originally worked for Project Cadmus before the latter organization betrayed them and raided Area 52. Ever since, the Brain and Mala have been attempting to create a wormhole to access other dimensions where they will be accepted. Eventually breaching Area 52, Clark and Lois reconcile with each other and Jimmy, who reveals he knew of Clark's secret identity before joining the Brain and Mala in defeating the Omax. Successfully opening their wormhole, the Brain warns Clark that Task Force X is after him before leaving with Mala. Concurrently, the General recruits Evo to help him use Cadmus's technology to kill Superman. After Clark shows Lois and Jimmy his spaceship and clarifies his alien origin, Clark and Lois plan their first date. However, he is interrupted by an imp who deceives him into helping him steal a recorder from a museum on Earth-1, revealing Clark is from the planet Krypton in the process. Meanwhile, Lois and Jimmy are recruited by the League of Lois Lanes to help them stop the imp and Clark. Suspicious of their intentions, Lois searches their files, stumbling onto the redacted File X. Upon finding them, the League attack Clark while the imp hijacks the League's vessel and travels to their headquarters with the recorder and Lois's help. As she steals the original File X, he regains his full strength and causes chaos until he is defeated. After returning to Earth, Clark and Lois finish their date. Following this, she opens File X and finds recordings of evil alternate Superman and a sample of a green crystal the League used to harm Superman. The General uses shock collars to forcibly recruit Willis, Intergang, and Heatwave into assisting Wilson and Evo capture Superman. Meanwhile, after developing super hearing and hearing everyone in the city crying for help, Clark runs himself tired helping everyone and soon becomes sleep-deprived and weakened. When Gotham Gazette journalist Vicky Vale arrives to cover his activities, Lois is starstruck to meet her, only to be disappointed when Vale runs a biased story defaming Superman as a menace to gain a promotion. Superman saves Mist from being hit by a truck but accidentally causes an accident, turning public opinion against him. Mist says Task Force X kidnapped Siobhan, and Superman offers to rescue her, only to be led into a trap and attacked. Superman is eventually knocked out by Evo via his parasite armor and Willis. Mist regrets luring Superman into the trap as Lois and Jimmy rush to the scene, but arrive to see the group carry Superman away. In flashbacks to Zero Day, the General, Waller, and their forces were attacked by an alien army led by a Superman-like figure codenamed Nemesis Omega, before they made a retreat that left their technology behind. In the present, Lois and Jimmy search for Superman while the General interrogates him. From Superman's anguished reaction, the General doubts his connection to it, while a displeased Waller secretly helps the prisoners escape. A vengeful Ivo attacks Superman, but inadvertently frees him. Clark believes he was sent to Earth to destroy it, but Lois assures him otherwise. Upon learning Evo is siphoning the power grid and going on a rampage, Lois and Jimmy use social media to petition Metropolis citizens to turn off their power, helping Superman defeat Ivo. As Superman and Lois declare their love, Jimmy finds File X. Waller demotes the General and gives him Ivo's last invention, the Omega Cannon, with orders to kill Superman. After Perry officially promotes Clark, Lois, and Jimmy for their article on Ivo's defeat, they have Thanksgiving dinner with Clark's parents. Lois invited her father, Sam Lane, who fails to recognize Clark. When Jimmy tries to talk with Lois and Clark, he drops File X, revealing the recordings to a devastated Clark and exposing him to the kryptonite. Clark's space pod also reacts, bringing an invasion similar to Zero Day. While Superman and Sam battle the invaders, Jimmy deduces that the crystal also hurts them. Superman takes the crystal to destroy the mothership, halting the invasion as the hologram of his father brings him to Earth. Sam prepares to kill him, but Lois pleads for his life and reminds her father that Superman had saved them, causing Sam to leave. At dinner, Jimmy reveals he sold Channel to the Daily Planet, becoming rich. Meanwhile, across the universe, Brainiac informs a warrior of the rebellious Earth as a new planet to conquer.